Welcome to the Spincast Cycling Show. Brian Kellison, Brian White, Lisa Reese, Casey Shum. 2 weeks off. I was not on a boat. I was on a lacrosse field. And then I was in an airport, and I didn't want to try to come on and speak coherently about things that I don't know anything about, even though we're the experts, right?
Yeah.
All right, at least I got one laugh.
I do have a side question.
Go.
So my daughter come home from cross country, and she said, Dad, what is lacrosse? I'm like, what do you mean lacrosse? Isn't it lacrosse? Have you ever heard it pronounced lacrosse?
No, because that's not what
it's a Brian White family thing.
Yeah,
she's inherited your mispronunciation.
Yeah, when she said that, I'm like, what? So I just wanted to make sure before I roasted her.
Yeah, lacrosse is essentially it's feminine. L-A, and then cross, which is the stick, right? But it's French.
I believe it's the actual national sport of Canada.
It is the national sport of Canada.
Which most people think it's hockey.
Lacrosse would be plural crosses, so it'd be LES, CROSSES, if that even exists. But that's how I would sort of break it down as I'm learning French. Oh. But that is, I think, just a white inherited mispronunciation. So we're going to go with that. Family. It definitely does. You want to give a shout? You want to give a shot at something today? Ogilvy?
Yeah.
All right.
Ogilvy.
Yeah. All right. So we've been off for 2 weeks because of travel and other things in life. Plus, it's been slow, right? It's been slow out there.
It's been hot.
Yeah. Summertime.
Wants to ride indoors.
So, yeah. Nobody wants to ride indoors, and there's no updates. There's nothing really to talk about. So, we're going to talk about the Zwift. Let's just start with this. I just popped in my head. The pack dynamics, because somebody brought it. Who brought it up in the little offline chat? But I remember people were talking about it in the Discord. This is something that interests me a lot. That's why I'm kind of curious about. Hey, first of all, they admitted that they had it across the entire game. It wasn't like, oh, we're going to do it in this one specific event that you can sign up for at like 2:00 in the morning. This is pack dynamics, not global physics. For other people who are like, oh, the physics are better. This is dynamics within a group, correct?
PD5.
Yeah.
Okay.
It seems to be related to just basically multiple rider interaction, call it like collision avoidance kind of. That's basically what it's about. It's about lane positioning and collisions.
Okay.
And that's I know Casey and I said that things felt weird a little bit. In different chats, like, stuff didn't act. And I know when I had Aunt Bev follow me around with the pace partners on Tempest Fugit, it was just different than what I had remembered from Aunt Bev in like April.
Let me jump in really quick.
Yeah.
Can we get a quick little history lesson on pack dynamics for like the Caseys and the Bryans, and maybe Lee knows this because I don't. What sort of started pack dynamic? That's sort of like the virtual, like riding together so people stick together better, right? They went to 2 and 3 and all the other iterations, but we don't have to go deep into the history, but the evolution of it is, what is wrong with pack dynamics 4 for them to then improve it to pack dynamics 5?
I think pack dynamics 4 was a giant leap.
Yes, I particularly liked it. I think it still could be better for global physics, but like the pack dynamics seemed better for pack dynamics 4 from 3.
My biggest thing that I've read, and I haven't read much, but like the way you move in the pack is what I think pack dynamics 5 has changed. But because I've noticed Aunt Bev, it seems to be in a worse position a lot. It could be because she's on a worse bike and the wheels. It's not the same as me, but when I do have her on the same wheels, she's same bike.
Is this the churning effect? Because I know we talked about the blob, we talked about churning. I remember I've experienced it. Most of us have experienced it, but we never really had official terminology. We just called it the blob, and then we called it the washing machine and the churning effect. Is this sort of to try to?
I think that's what it is.
Squelch that or quelch that, whatever we want. What's the word for that?
I know with PD5. What they talk about, like what Casey was saying, the collisions, is so you can't ride through other people.
Right, because that used to be a strategy. You
Yes.
would be in the channeling off the back and then just go as hard as you can. There was a lot of Zwift races.
For a history, PD4 was pretty much when the blob got stopped.
Right.
Like the blob almighty ruled up until PD4, where they kind of allowed breaks. It still wasn't great, but yeah, I mean, that totally is a race strategy of start at the back of the pack and ride through everyone as your sprint finish. Where now PD5 sounds like it, you have to move around the pack or move through people.
So you have this post up. I don't know what the post is from.
This is from James Bailey.
Oh, this is a James Bailey post. Okay.
Yeah, James Bailey posting on Zwift Racers. I couldn't find
on
much
social
information
media.
on social media.
Yeah, right.
So this wasn't like an official Zwift post. This was James Bailey being like, hey.
Sharing, But he says, so in the second paragraph, I won't read the first one, doesn't matter. Pack Dynamics V5, PD5, has two goals. Firstly, to improve collision avoidance, so you do not ride through other riders. And secondly, it improves how quickly you are able to find the draft after having been overtaken. And great news if you ride in TTTs, which is team time trials.
Yeah, and this is, so to me, that second bit is also the catering to, I'm going to be real blunt and honest here. That's catering to the non-steering criers.
Okay.
So, and this is the common theme in all their pack dynamics, is they're trying to make it look better. Right. That was a big theme, I think, with Pack Dynamics 4. You visually look at the blob and it looks more like a real cycling peloton, and you don't see yourself riding through other riders as much. So it's giving this visual effect. They don't really talk about a lot about how it changes, how it impacts your speed and how you draft or any of that. It's always about how it looks. And then the second part is about how quickly you kind of snap back into that draft. So I will be curious to see how this steering versus non-steering changes, because I'm a firm believer that steering, it's not a pay to win kind of scenario with steering that some people cry about, but there are particular instances in racing that there is an advantage to steer, but it is not an insurmountable advantage that you are just handicapped and can't win a race if you don't have steering.
Right.
That's not true.
I did a race on an A race with 6 other A's racing the whole 70 kilometers on the Sacre Bleu, one of these epic races on a Zwift steel bike.
6.
That's a very good pronunciation, by the way.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
On a Zwift steel bike and no steering, and I was there until the final sprint. So, I mean, if steering made that big of a difference, because there's a lot of turns, a lot of, wiggles throughout France, I should have been dropped without steering. Now, granted, I may have been able to overpower and overcome that, but a lot of it is just recognizing your position. You bump up the power a couple watts, and then your guy auto steers over. But I don't know if steering really makes that big of a difference. I mean, maybe it does, but in my experience, I really haven't noticed that much.
It's gradual. Like, hey, if you're by yourself and you're taking corners, it's better. But if you're just trying to position to get, like, this is what the second line is. Secondly, it improves how quickly you are able to find the draft after having been overtaken. Now, if you are steering, it's hard to kind of get back on someone's wheel. Let's say you're in a 2-person breakaway and you let off the pedals, like you move over, which I've done, to then slot back in, which is what I would do in real life. It's sometimes hard to line up with somebody. So if this second improves how quickly you're able to find the draft, that'd be cool if it like snapped on. We're going to get early on, first 10 minutes of the show, RGT. RGT had a really good draft.
They had lanes too for steering.
No, not we're not talking about the steering, the lanes. We're not talking about that. We're talking about the riding around with the group. The collision avoidance, which is the first statement here, sounds weird. Collision avoidance, it should be like latching on to the draft. Collision avoidance. So that's
collision avoidance is going around people, I think.
Yeah,
so that's like
instead of riding through people.
That's like the RGT thing, where it's like, hey, you can't because Indy Velo or Training Peaks Virtual has that sort of issue, where if you get on the power, you quickly move up through the group, and there's no sort of blocking, as you will, is you
RGT
can't just
and
ride
blocking.
through people. Even though there's no fear of there's no fear of crashing in any of these games, but you can't just ride through people easily. You have to put a little bit more power, and then it sort of moved you around. That's what RGT did. Biketerra kind of does that. Indie Velo doesn't do that very much, like the Training Peaks Virtual. It's like you get on the power, you're all the way at the front, and I just ride right through people. That's a good improvement if they're doing that.
Yeah, it forces you to go around, but we'll see how it tests out. I don't believe it's more than anything visual, because the draft in Zwift is kind of a wide cone. So even though it's physically moving you to the side to go around somebody, I'll be curious if you lose the draft. So I think we'll see how it tests. I think I've ridden it. I just don't know that I was riding it. So,
Yeah.
And one of the comments at the bottom of this is there haven't been any complaints, so they're kind of good with rolling it out. The fact that no one's actively really complaining about it means it's probably not a big change, because people are pretty vocal when they are. I will say I struggle a little bit with like the sprint finish type of thing on Zwift. I'm kind of torn on that part of it. I don't know if I'm not sure what I want Zwift to do with the sprint finish. I enjoy a sprint finish on Zwift and the way it is, but that's also kind of how I cut my teeth in online racing, was through Zwift. I'm actually struggling with finishing races in RGT, or not RGT, and Rouvy and MyRoosh, because you don't get the slingshot. But so what I feel in those two platforms is they're not solving this riding through people issue by pushing you to the side as much as like they squash your acceleration. You can't get that burst of speed by full sprinting. Like MyRoosh and Rouvy both feel like they kind of mute your acceleration. I can do 1,000 watts and you can barely see that speedometer get a little bit faster, so somebody can jump on you. So you can't slingshot around somebody sprinting.
So I think it goes back to getting up, moving up, like you would in real life. Like, hey, getting in a better position. So I'm using a little bit more power to get around somebody because I collide with them instead of just hanging out in the back, which I remember a lot of people that were used to the Zwift way, packed on MX3, and they would just sprint from the back, and then they would do RGT, and you'd sprint from the back, and you would slam on the brakes because you'd run into somebody, and then you'd be like, oh, I got blocked, because you can't just ride through people.
Yep.
And so this is kind of creating more strategy of like, hey, I need to push a little bit more power, either seated or a little bit, like a little short burst, to move up to get to a better position, so that when it comes out of a corner or it comes into a spot where it's going to be the sprint, maybe they're looking towards this like last little bit, doing what professional cycling is doing, is you have to maintain your lane when you're in the sprint. You have to maintain your lane, otherwise you get the yellow card. And it's like, hey, if you can kind of move up and stay in that thing, and then you do your sprint, you stay in your lane, and if everyone kind of finds their spot in the big mass sprint, and you can't just come around because you'll cause a collision.
Yeah, I mean, the tour just wrapped up. There was lots of sprinting to watch. And yes, after you pull out of your lead out, the guys are going 4 wide. None of them have a draft. Like, they're all pushing wind, trying to sprint but I mean, it's a video game though. Maybe that's part of the game, and it's fine because it's part of the game. You know, we talk about realism a lot, and that's just a Zwift thing, but I think a little bit less collision. I mean, I remember back in the day of riding in Zwift, if you rode through someone, you saw their face inverted because of the graphics.
You'd go inside their head. Yeah.
So reckless speculation here. Since we brought up, not on this show, but we talked about it after we talked about it on our streams, with Biketerra's innovation of the caution physics. I think we talked about this 2 weeks ago, right? The reckless speculation is, hey, we're trying to push the innovative thing in Biketerra, and maybe Zwift has grabbed a hold of that and said, hey, it's not riding through people. Now we're kind of creating this sort of cautionary collision in the group, so that you actually have to use a little bit more energy to get in a better position. So when you are doing your full out sprint, you can't ride through somebody and go through their face, but it's sort of like, hey, we're trying to innovate. That's reckless speculation. I don't think Zwift is actually innovating like Biketerra would be.
Well, actually, I think mostly what Zwift has been doing lately is copying features from other apps. I mean, Zwift has been updating.
Okay, we'll move on to that. But yeah,
they're not leading.
So Pack Dynamics 5 is not innovative.
I think it's a small update. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I think the innovation is they're putting it in everything and not telling anybody. Instead of going, hey, this is we're doing a Pack Dynamics 5 event. Remember they used to do that with Pack Dynamics 4? I mean, they're just putting it out there.
The fact that there's not much even being talked about on it, I don't think it warrants a big number change.
Okay, so it's not that big.
I think it's a 4.6 from a 4.5, not a 5, right?
Oh, okay.
To me, 5.0 indicates like you got a whole new, right? Like you bought a new car kind of thing. I think they just put new tires on. They didn't buy a new car.
Okay, all right, that's reckless speculation. So, but the innovative updates that they've done is they've added 4 new metrics to the in-game HUD. Is this the left right balance, which everyone's asked for?
Yep.
Core temperature, which is another. So this is not only are they getting they're getting into outside workouts or outside activities can be brought into Zwift. That's weeks ago. They're also adding their own fitness. What is it called? What's that thing they started doing? Is where you can see your fitness.
Fitness tracker.
Fitness tracker. Thank you very much, Brian. So fitness tracker, and now they're adding outside devices other than a traditional heart rate and a bike trainer, right? So this is core temperature, the core sensor, which is temperature, which is what Training Peaks Virtual had that very, very early on. Biketerra had it very, very early on. So now they're saying, hey, we want to add more metrics, more things, so that you can see it on your platform or on our platform. Is that innovative, or is that like Lee's saying is just, hey, we're catching up?
I think it's a catch up.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's also ironic, like, because Zachary said this earlier, like basically we got the sandbaggers tool in game now with the ride stats. You could see your
ride stats. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, the ride stats panel. Okay, explain the sandbagging portion of that.
Okay, so now obviously right now we are using the race score. It has its flaws, but that's what we got. But there is also still the pace group aspect. Now, that may be a little bit out the window now, but I do know your power can set a new, upgrade you from B to A or whatever, or give you a massive jump between categories. So let's just say, all right, I think my 40-minute power right now is like 330. And my 20 minutes, like 340. I can't remember the exact numbers. But then, like, let's say I'm on a breakaway, I'm averaging 360. And then I start seeing, oh, hey, look, I've been at 5 minutes at this. And then, like, oh, I don't want to get to 20 minutes. So then, like, as your number for 20 minutes start bumping up, then you can back it off and maybe not get that.
So that's the sandbagging. The 20 minutes is still the marker. Is that what you're saying?
ZRS.
No.
ZRS is only set based on your floor is set based on 5 minutes. That's the only metric used now for your floor in ZRS. But you will still find, and I find them almost daily when I'm looking for races on Zwift. There's still a lot of community-led races that line up based on power categories. You'll click on the A and it'll say 4.0 to 6.0, and those are based on the old school. It's actually Zwift's. It's ZFTP is what those are based on. So it's Zwift's FTP versions, but so it's loosely based on these metrics. So people can monitor their numbers here. Last year, the ZRL series was still based on full old school categories. They haven't said what they're doing this year, but the big flop for me, I thought this was great until I started using it. And then I was frustrated with it because what I use is what are my current averages. I want this box to be what is my current 5 minute, my current 20 minute, and my current 60 minute. But what it is your best.
Oh, really?
If you do a big 5 minute effort, that number is just going to stay up here. And so these are your best numbers in the current ride, not your current averages. And I always, like on my head unit, my bike computer on my bike, and I use it on my bike stand to dual record some, it has my current 20-minute average, my current 5-minute average. So I don't want to see what my best one is. I want to see what my current one is, and I can't change this. I wish they just had a toggle here, just to toggle the screen from best to current.
Yeah, my Garmin app that I used in my ZRL days had the current and the best. So you could currently see what you were doing for 20 minutes, and you could see what your best 20-minute average was, so you avoided going over certain.
So would the best number be like you're using it for workouts to like improve repeatability? Like, what's the point of having just your best overall for a specific, for this ride that the current ride versus what you're currently on? What would be the benefit of what they have set up?
Other than knowing if you broke a category or you were going for a 20-minute PR or something, just like
most of this info is on the final screen when you log out of the game, like your 5-minute, 20-minute.
But why would it be why is this beneficial?
Don't really know.
Yeah,
it's I literally only ever used these stats to not go over my class in ZRL racing. And
but you would do it because this is your personal best. So if you don't have a personal best of these times on this current ride, it's just great. It's just two dashes.
This is your best 20-minute of the ride, not like personal best forever.
Okay, so this person's only ridden it for 40 seconds. That's why they only have a 5-second number. Okay, I got it. I understand.
So
I probably should have ridden before they took a picture.
Has weighted power always been a thing on this, or was it a new one?
That's a new.
It's a new one.
But they didn't list it as a new field, right? It wasn't called out as a new one. We had left, right, and we had all the core
weighted power is actually an interesting metric to have live.
I like weighted power.
Yeah,
I use the weighted power and the average power. I found out on stream, and you got to dig in random notes to figure it out. But left-right balance only works on Bluetooth. Even if you have a device that broadcasts that on ANT Plus, they don't give it to you off ANT Plus. So I think we had to dig through a couple of articles to find one little comment from Zwift Insider that said, "Oh, Bluetooth only." Like Zwift's notes don't say that.
It was the other way around.
Was it?
Yeah, it was in the forums that Shihi or Shuji or whatever his name is. He said it has to be Bluetooth, and then on the Zwift Insider article, it just said any device will.
It says if your device supports it, it'll work in game. And I'm like, well, my device will broadcast that on ANT Plus, but it wasn't picking it up. And I was like, okay, I'm confused.
I feel like here's another question. A lacking part of Zwift is explanations on how any of their features work. Rouvy comes out with an update. There's an entire YouTube video explaining every single part of the update, why you should use it, why it's good. Zwift is like, hey, Zwift 1.93. And then they rely on Zwift Insider to do a whole article. And then he just covers the basics, which is great that he covers it because someone needs to cover it. But there's never any of like the full details. Like that only on Bluetooth, that should be very clear. That should be out there.
Yeah.
It's like when I bought the damn Zwift Plays thinking that I was going to get virtual shifting because Zwift's fine print said Zwift Plays enables you to have virtual shifting. There wasn't an asterisk saying only if you have a trainer with the proper firmware. It just said if you buy Zwift Plays, you get virtual shifting.
Class action.
Yeah.
That's Lee's of Reese. Class action.
Casey, did you find out if the left-right balance is in the fit file?
I didn't. I was just going to ask if anybody figured that out. Well, what I don't know is is Zwift actually recording it in the fit file, or are they just putting it on the screen? I need to pair with Bluetooth.
One of Aunt Bev's file.
I normally don't pair my pedals to Zwift with Bluetooth. I usually use ANT Plus, so I'll pair with Bluetooth and try it one of these days.
In that article at the top, the first sentence, in this significant update, which I'm wondering if Eric
Aren't they all
slangy
significant?
from switch and side.
Yes,
Like
they're all.
every single
I
time
wonder if
they
he was trolling or there is more behind it we just don't know yet. Because
No,
it
I
really,
don't think Eric trolls. He's like taking it right from Zwift.
yeah, he's on the up and
yeah,
up.
I was kind of wondering because I'm like, this was not, in my eyes, this was not significant. Like,
He's yeah. He's
All
the
right,
hype man.
Well, let's hype it. Let's hype what they're also hyping right now, which is the Tour de France avec Zwift. Tour de France Femmes. I know you guys call it Femmes with the plural. It's Femme. Tour de France Femme avec Zwift. I think that's how you say it, right? Yeah. I totally forgot that it was even happening.
yeah, it started yesterday, and the only reason I know that's because I went to watch the stage 20, and I accidentally clicked on the women's stage 1, and I'm like, wait, this isn't right. So that's the only reason I knew it started yesterday.
But I went on the app yesterday because I was like, oh, maybe I'll do Kiss at like 10 or 11 o'clock at night. And then I was looking at, and my filters, I think there's a bug. I don't know if it's for everybody, but I had to reset my filters because I couldn't see anything other than just Zwift events. I couldn't see any sort of like third party SZR, whoever, Kiss, the Kiss 100 kilometer, 100, Kiss 100. I couldn't see any of that. So I had to reset in the companion app, but everything was on, the Femme avec Zwift, but there's no events that are like tied to what they're doing, which is kind of a shame. Right?
Yeah, they do. They do have some group rides and stuff out there, right? Like it. I was just taking that secondhand. I know Flight, who's a friend of the show, I believe led one.
Yeah.
One of the group rides. She was the
I
ride
didn't know
leader
that. That's
yesterday.
awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And there's some kits out there. We were talking about that pre-show, right? There.
Yeah.
But that's pretty standard Zwift stuff, right? You know, monthly group rides with a kit, tour of your random Zwift world with a kit. Like that's all normal stuff.
Let me ask this question. This is 4 dudes. Is this exciting for people to get into Zwift or to?
Well,
I think for the majority,
I like the racing. I'm not against the racing. The women racing is awesome, but I don't think the draw to like fire up Zwift to like kind of do anything.
I appreciate the effort that, you know, they're at least doing something to recognize cycling, but the people Zwift are going for subscriptions have zero clue about cycling outside of indoor. Like most people don't care about the Tour de France. Most people don't care about the Vuelta. Like it's just hardcore cyclists, and that's not Zwift's target market right now.
No, not anymore. I mean, they've sort of slowed down on
almost anybody watching Zwift on television or watching the tour, male or female on television, knows about Zwift, right? Yeah, that's not their targeting market.
That's where I've always said Zwift is marketing in the wrong spots, because everyone who does already, like you said, follows cycling knows about Zwift. Zwift needs to be doing like Super Bowl ads to like the random Joes where they go, whoa, that looks super interesting. I should try that out, you know?
If anything, what they're doing here is getting appreciation from the cycling community that they are putting money in support of women's cycling, right? They may be earning some subscribers over the other platforms, or this may be someone's tool of choice for indoor training who they're not trying to convince them to do indoor training, but I'm going to pick Zwift because I like the fact that Zwift is pouring money into the sport here, right? That may be the marketing that they are getting from this, but they're not reaching new customers for this.
Right. So Lee brought it up as try to get people excited, like a Super Bowl ad. Like, how do you make this game? How do you make it exciting? Other than what they're already doing, which is having somebody on a Zwift ride with a fake screen in front of them, like the big projector screen, that they're like, hey, what is it? Fast as Fun or whatever it's called. how do you make this exciting? We've talked about this. Like, this is not an exciting sport. Like, it's hard to make this sport exciting.
So let's say that I'm a female and I'm like, oh, I'm going to watch the tour. And then you see the Avec Zwift. So you hop on the game. Well, there's the course, there's nothing in the game from what you're watching. So I think like I've said before, if they add just even a small section or a climb, not the climb portal, like in game, where hey, we're gonna do this ride, like this is stage 2, the final 15
this
kilometers.
leads into what I wanted to get to.
You know, like there's just saying, hey, come ride Zwift, but like if you're interested in it, there's nothing.
So the leading program is Zwift. The leading female race, professional race, is Tour de France Femme. They are partnered. There's a innovative feature in a totally different game, Biketerra, which is doing exactly what you just said. Hey, I'm excited to go do this. There, you during the Tour de France, they developed this. I think it came out the second week, so it was 2 weeks ago. I was in Lacrosse World, but they just wrapped it up today. If somebody can find the video, Lee, if you can find the video or whatever it is, or some little note, because I know Mike, or Mike, I don't want to say Mike. It's Matt.
He posted it in our Discord.
Yeah, Matt in our Discord. Matt from Biketerra. You could ride the exact course that the pros were riding, and they had live updates of their riding. So you could see if there was a breakaway, if there was a ride, and they had them in the rider list. That's pretty innovative. I don't know anyone else that's been doing that. Did Bkool do that? Or did Rouvy do that? Or did anyone do that when we were like in, specific, like there was no fans on the side of the road when we were doing like the pandemic races and stuff. Like there was, what is this right here? Leading group yellow, group Healy, Vauquelin, right? The polka dot jersey. So yeah, here's you're riding. This is the climb. This is whatever this was a.
I'd like to know, where did he get the stats from to show this?
We would probably have to ask.
This is some back end.
Yeah, there had to be
stuff.
And you could spectate. You could spectate, but then you could also ride it as a rider in this ride.
Yeah, he's spectating right now, and at one point in the next couple minutes, he'll zoom around. Like, look, there's the group behind.
Yeah, they're on this. They're on
and
like
look,
this
he's
stage.
zooming in.
Yeah,
like this is
so
amazing.
Cool. Yeah,
like I would honestly rather watch the Tour de France like this.
Yeah, right. That'd be
where I could zoom in and out to whatever rider I wanted. Then
this is very cool. You can see how the green jersey group is like 4.2 kilometers behind, and see how slow they're going. It's the gruppetto, as they call it. So this is innovative. I thought this was very cool. Like I didn't get to do it because I was doing lacrosse and stuff, but this they said
one
that,
of
and
these
they
stages. It is amazing.
You watch it. They also are going to do it for the Vuelta, so we can't catch up to it. Yeah, and you can click
opened up the group.
Yeah, you open up the group. It shows the actual professional rider and what team they're on, their number on their jersey. This is very cool. And their terraforms are so much better. Like this is for the audio only audience. Like I'm describing it. It's like they have the fog of war or whatever, like the visuals, like when you have and they've improved their graphics. So the Biketerra stuff is much better because I did it a couple weeks ago. And like if you have a really good graphics card and a better hardware, you can have more visible. So it doesn't it'll render more. So this is innovative. Like this would be kind of cool. Hey, ride with the pros. Boom. Jump on this and do
ride with the pros.
Or don't ride with the pros. Hey, avec Zwift. Avec Biketerra, And so here this is they're above the tree lines here. This is leading group. Yeah, this is the leaders. Pogačar.
There's the yellow jersey sitting right there.
Yeah. So very cool. Like you can see the profile, you can see the distance to go, you can see how much they're on the climb.
Groups. Yeah, the groups, how far back each group is.
Which is what we have, which is what's in this is a sauce feature for Zwift, which is a third party thing, or that other, what's the other one? Zwift Games or something? Zwift Metrics, whatever it's called. But this is also like a Training Peaks virtual. where you have the rider list, but then in that rider list, they would break it out into different groups. So you could see like, oh, I'm in the chase group or I'm in the lead group. So
I would
very
love
cool.
to know how they did this.
Yeah,
This
well,
is
maybe
just-
we reach out to him and he can give us a little
This
rundown.
is super cool. I'd love
Yeah.
to see this. Like,
So this would be the great tie-in that Brian brought up. And I think all of us brought it up. Is like, hey, how do you get excited? This makes it at least tangible, right? Instead of just like, these are two unrelated things except for cycling. This is
how
hey,
Zwift racing should be.
Yeah.
This is how you should be able to spectate Zwift racing.
I think they're doing it for the women's races too. I think it starts tomorrow, the stage 3. Let me look on the Discord. I think he said that in the Discord, where he's like, hey, we're doing this for the Vuelta coming up, which is in late August. But tomorrow you can ride with the Les Femmes. Dude,
Zwift should have a
cruising
full
up this
spectator
dude, they are
mode
riding
where
fast
you
up
can
this damn
click
mountain.
on
road.
whoever you want, zoom in, see any camera angle you want, just like as a spectate mode.
Yeah, these are now features that were not there before for race organizers. So, because there is a racing community on Biketerra. Now you can be like, hey, because I think these might have been tools that who's the OTR guy? Oh, I can't remember his name, but he was putting on the Friday. He puts on the Friday
James
OTRs.
Ogleve.
Yeah, James Ogleve. He was probably, hey, can you do this? And the Biketerra guys were like, hey, yeah, we could probably do that. So now they're going to crest this climb, and we'll see how fast they're going to go. But I believe there's team time trial races now on Thursdays with Ogleve, the OTR.
Yes.
I think he was getting some stuff coordinated. Yeah.
But if you could do this, not only can you do race organizers to go, hey, this is the group, or if you could have the groups of team time trials going, and you can see where they are and see their speed, see their distance, which you'd never get in the team time trials that are on Zwift, right? I never knew what was going on with anybody else. I only knew what I was doing in my rotation. Usually that's what happens with the athletes. But as a spectator, you're like, oh, I could see, hey, this is team X, because you're team X, right, Casey, or whatever it was.
Yep.
The team
X
trials
is
need to
gonna
have like splits between teams.
Yeah, you could see like see how you can see if for example, I don't know if this is true, but the group only is 922 meters behind, but they're going 43 kilometers per hour, and the other group, the group yellow jersey group, is going. But if you had like, hey, this is not the group, this is the group of team X, and they're going 36 kilometers per hour, and they're like 500 meters up, but they're on the incline because you can see them and stuff. This is something that only like Zwift Community Live would do to get like times to a certain extent, but they would never have like times on the course, like a traditional broadcast for team time trials, or even just a time trial, where you'd have like the first split, and you would watch like one rider, and they would do the first split, and then you would see what it relates to the other riders that have gone through, and you go, oh, new fastest time on the course. Unless I'm wrong, that never existed in spectators or in the races of any team time trials that I've ever done.
No, it was to get any of that information, you would just kind of have to do it yourself. You could spectate races that way, and you could pay attention to the times and kind of keep track of that manually, but there was never any game tools. And at this point, that's not even going to be on their roadmap, because they've basically paused all racing broadcasts, support, elites, all that. But this isn't going to be on their radar.
But isn't team time trial still the most popular thing on Zwift that's year round? Because ZRL is the Tuesdays. It takes everyone's life on Tuesday. But
probably
the Thursday is consistently everyone does a team time trial like that.
There's no broadcast for it though. There's no need for tools like that unless.
But if you could have tools, you could have community members do the broadcasts again, and just have like they could just stream one broadcast and go, hey, this is what I would like to do.
Yeah. If if you built the tools, you might see that come out, but they begged for the tools for 10 years and never got them. So
right. This is Biketerra, and it's doing it. It seems like it's doing something now where you can spectate and get a list of riders, and you're getting stuff.
And I think this is the hard part, kind of going back to where you started here with the Zwift supporting the tour, but yet Biketerra is doing things like this. Even on Rouvy, right? Their challenges for the month are on real France courses. You can go ride these courses. You can see the sites. You can, I think when we did, was it the Tour of Suisse one last?
Yeah.
It was
Tour of Alps or something. Yeah.
It was pre-riding the course from last year. There was actually people on the side of the road, and all that was part of what you were seeing. You felt like you were in the race. Like Zwift is just changing a banner in a cartoon world to say, TdF Fems and putting a group ride on it. Like there's, other than the banner, there's nothing in the game reflective of the tour or the terrain or the course or anything.
Even to support the riders. Like, they couldn't even, like, let's imagine if Zwift replicated the race. They can't even do that. Biketerra is doing that, and you're like, hey.
I love the Rouvy courses that are filmed just before the race start.
Oh,
they're lined with people.
Yeah.
Those are awesome. I love riding those ones because the course is all lined. I mean, most of the people are walking to their spots, but it feels like you're doing something. Like people,
so
people are waving at the ride, at like the film car.
Yeah, the caravan thing. Yeah.
The race I did today was similar to that. It was an Ironman race, and it took me a little bit into it to figure out what it was, but it was the lead car was doing the recording, and it's an out and back course. For the first half of the course, I didn't see anybody other than the aid stations and the police and the corner workers and all that, but people were on the route. It was clearly a closed course, but I didn't see any bikes. As soon as I did the U-turn, all the fast guys were coming at me. I was going head to head on the video. So the second 15 miles of the course, I'm passing these guys just head down, crank, and I was like, this is cool, right? You felt like you were in the race, and this was only about 3 hours from home. It was a Muncie race, which is where I went for my daughter's band camp, Muncie. So like, I was like, I know these roads, I know this area. So it was pretty cool. But yeah, those videos are cool. But that's the thing that I think if Zwift wants to get to the cycling community more, I think that's the part that I'm enjoying about other platforms that Zwift just isn't providing, or they're not scratching that itch at all.
Yeah, maybe they
and what you guys are
got rid of it.
What you're talking about when you're doing Rouvy, you're getting something out of it. I know we have the climb portal and we have the climbs, but that is it's not engaging. I mean, some people may like it, but I don't feel it's engaging.
Amazing? They're amazing.
It's kindergarten class, man. Shapes and colors. Oh.
So they have, if they could just even put generic out the Zwift, you know what I mean, structure on that, it would make it a lot more tolerable. And you could be like, oh yeah, I'm riding up, what is it, the Col de Madeleine, that big giant ass
it's pretty
thing.
good. Yeah, it's pretty good.
It would make it tolerable if you could, at least not see geometry class.
But we got
you just said it though. Maybe they don't want to. I mean, we've been ranting for years about stuff that we want, and they should do this and they should do that. Maybe they just don't care, and they're just doing what they want to do.
Yeah, they did Jarvis Island, and they have the Crab Shack and all the other stuff. They could have spent that time to prepare for this race in July.
Yeah.
For the women, and maybe did this, but they didn't.
So as much as my, love for Zwift has done more for my personal cycling than anything else has. Maybe my just expectations are just way too high of what I would like to see. I should just be like, they're just doing what they're doing. That's what they do.
It's good enough.
I would definitely do the climb portals a lot more, especially with the varied real hill climbs, if it just had Biketerra level, like,
oh yeah,
views, right?
I
It doesn't.
like Biketerra's
It doesn't have to be.
graphics. Yeah.
And it's one of those things, right? Is don't try to be realistic and miss the mark. Just be over the top cartoony. I'd rather it be that, right, than trying to make it real when you can't. But the shapes and colors are just terrible. I'm sorry, they're just it's too much.
All right. We keep waiting for Zwift, but we're gonna not wait anymore for Rouvy.
Ruvy's
acquire
spending money, man.
Bkool. So I guess the CEOs rode the other day, or maybe a year ago, whatever it was. They had a social post with the two CEOs. And Rouvy strengthens its leadership. This is their press release here on July 24th. Indoor cycling reality with strategic acquisition of Bkool. So anyone that has tried Bkool, it was a Spanish developer, and it was around during the pandemic, before the pandemic. It was there for like a year.
Yeah, they've been.
Yeah,
right?
didn't it come? Wasn't
They had their own
Bkool
trainers
like,
as well for a while.
Yeah, they had they had that weird that like wood. Didn't they have their back? It was like a rear wheel that was like kind of a half crescent.
I remember
moon
Chris
or something.
Froome sponsored it back in the day.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like
Chris Froome totally was sponsored. What I didn't realize, because I've actually ridden in the Bkool beta group, I didn't realize they actually had real video rides.
Yeah, I think they had real video rides, and then they had their virtual ride.
Like it was a bit of both.
Yeah,
That you could ride a video, or you could ride like.
and
Zwift
they had their own
style.
creator, like their own route creator. I remember that too.
Yes.
Their ambassadors and teams on their website: Alberto Contador, Chris Froome, Oscar Freire,
Yeah, he's
Freire,
Spanish.
yeah.
He was like 4-time world champ.
Sudal Quickstep, and Pulte Cometa. I probably messed that one up really bad. That's a team. But
So yeah, they had ambassadors. I guess they're very popular in Europe. Big Spanish. And then I guess, so somebody, I think DC Rainmaker's article where he wrote very big and like a big Danish audience or subscribers, because they had like a Danish salesperson there for a couple years, and he sold it a lot. And so people bought into it. This brings in GPX files into 3D virtual routes. So if you look here at this thing, this is sort of like the takeaway. So Bkool, strong presence in Spain. Blah, blah, blah. He just changed the thing I was reading. Thanks, Z. Okay. Rouvy Group has looked for further bolstering its position in these territories. Furthermore, Bkool's solution for turning GPX files into 3D virtual routes was seen as complementary to the flagship Rouvy app. So its own route creator, however you want to pronounce it, technology, and in aiding Rouvy's continuing mission to connect the indoor with the outdoor. So they're doing the Biketerra sort of. They're like, hey, we need to get this technology. We're going to bring in this, acquire it.
Right now, like Rouvy has their route creator that you have to go out and film a video.
Yeah, it needs a video.
Then you have to edit the video, and then you have to run it through the Rouvy route creator program, which you have to make sure your rider doesn't fall into the road and correct things, and to actually get a video that's worthy of getting up onto Rouvy takes quite a bit of time.
It's much more of a reach, is what you're saying.
Yeah. So if they can maybe somehow turn GPX files plus your video into a more quick and easy way of getting your video onto Rouvy, then that would be fantastic. Or just a GPX file with a 3D virtual world would be great.
Yeah. So this is, hey, we want to be able to be a place for people to do their Biketerra load your GPX file in, right? Because nobody else does that, from what I understand, right?
What's this mean for Rouvy though? Like, so to me, this is a sign that Rouvy's investing, right? They've now bought 2 of what the top 5, 6 tools out there, right? I mean, you got the big ones. It's Rouvy, MyWhoosh and Zwift, they're I think pretty clearly the top three. You've got Training Peaks that's floating around. They've been in that top 5 the whole time. Bkool and Full Gas have been consistent, but they've always been below all those other ones, right? And Rouvy's pulling those in. Are they doing that to make their application better, to get subscriptions? But to me, it's just they're investing in the space, right? They're trying to I think
based
really
on the
progress and challenge.
Yeah, based on the press release and what they're talking about, is they're looking for technologies to help bolster that. Where Iron Man, buying the Full Gas and Iron Man was content, not so much tech. But maybe it was because Full Gas was more 4K, right,
Yeah,
Lee?
Full Gas has honestly better videos.
Yeah,
The
so
4K
better videos
Full
there.
Gas videos, if you watched I've watched a few videos that they've even ported from Full Gas into Rouvy, and you go, wow, these look pretty damn good.
The one I wrote
video
today,
quality.
I think was that, because it was an actual Iron Man.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of Iron Man ones were all filmed in 4K and then downscaled to, Rouvy resolution, but they still look better. And so I think they took that, and I mean the Iron Man partnership, that's great. But you're right, I think, Brian, I think they're buying Bkool because of, like they say, the technology, the GPX files into 3D virtual routes, something that they can incorporate. So they're keeping Bkool running, they're keeping Full Gas running, but at the same time, they're pulling technology out of those apps to bolster Rouvy, because the end game would be.
And that happens with a lot of tech companies. Like, there's there's acquisitions to take on the tech, then they fold them in, and then they integrate them. And so you have people, this sort of easier transition with the Full Gas people, where it was like a lot of the users were like, hey, we like using Full Gas. And they're like, okay, we're going to keep it up and running. If you guys keep the subscribers up and good to go, we'll stay with it. But as soon as it starts to dip and we can't support it, we're going to have you guys transition into Rouvy. And the community responded, okay, got it. Keep the subscribers up. But it's also in the underlying, like, take the tech, where it's like, hey, how can we maybe expedite our content creation for the riders to get more content? Because that's sort of like, this is the reason why, this is what separates all of the other ones from MyWhoosh and Zwift, is user created content. Oh no, and Training Peaks, right? The user created content. Now, it was difficult in Bkool. I tried it and I was just like, I'm done. I'm out. The Rouvy, you did one. It's difficult. Biketerra, it's easy. RGT was awesome to make magic roads. It took like 5 minutes. Sometimes even less than 5 minutes to just kick something out, right? So the community is one thing, but hey, user content and community, if you're like, hey, I can spool up this stuff and I have people there that I can do the things I want to do with, that starts to become, that sort of extra menu item that people will be interested in, going with.
I mean, Rouvy's doing something, because I'm still almost weekly surprised at what I stumble across. I did a race a few days ago. There were 90 people in it. I ended up in the third pack, sprinting for 20th place in a 1 hour race on. I haven't had that in Zwift in 6 months. Like, not without joining a tour of Watopia, not a race, right? Like, this was an actual race that had almost 100 people.
It's weird how, like, we always, at least I talk about how the visuals are not that important. The visuals are not that important when there are people there that you can race with or ride with, and the physics and the feel of it is fun. Like, we talked about that early on with Rouvy, is like, hey, it feels pretty good doing races and staying with people. As soon as they keep fine-tuning that visual, which they have when they have those when you have a 2K course, and they kind of purged the old stuff, right? So there's not a lot of that weird 1080p, 720p stuff.
The
it's
guy
just
with the
the handlebars going back and forth.
Handlebars going
it's like
side to side as
they
he's
kind of
weaving up
purged
the
all
Alp.
that, which was kind of good. And so if they're like, hey, we didn't want to purge it because we didn't like it or we didn't want the content. It's just we want to up our quality of those things. And so pulling in more technology might improve that. So that you're like, hey, we're making it easier for people to do. And then there might be algorithms that kind of go, hey, we can kind of smooth out, kind of the way Biketerra has their automated smoothing. Magic Roads had an automatic, they integrated a smoother as well to go, hey, we kind of want to fine tune this for you. We'll help you out. That's that sort of seamless sort of approach, which it's exciting.
And I think their challenges, I think a lot of those routes are still out there for like the people that uploaded those routes that really want to do them. They're still out there, but at least I am, and it appears like a majority of the community is focused on the challenges, and they won't put a low quality route video in those challenges. So I'm almost exclusively either doing a challenge route or an event. And they seem to be filtering those things well enough that you don't get bad video in any of those things.
Yeah. The curation is much stronger. Once they acquired Fullgas, I remember the curation, and that's why the price. Well, I got locked in. I did a
find four other friends.
Find four other people. Thank you, Zavris. The price increase. It's an inside joke here now. The sort of price increase is sort of valid because now they're acquiring things, they're doing more stuff. Yeah. If they start releasing more tools to go, hey, we raise the price, we're not stopping our innovation or our development. This is the reason why.
Rouvy is one of those programs where if you don't use it, you are missing out, and the people who use it go, hell yeah, I'm using this. Yeah, you're missing out. If you don't use it, you're missing out. I don't think people completely underestimate how good Rouvy actually is, because a lot of Zwift people are crazy Zwift diehards and will never leave Zwift.
Yeah.
When I go look for a ride now, I look at Rouvy events first, and I look for races, and I specifically look for races that are on challenge courses, so I can kind of check two boxes at once. That's where I start, and if I can't come up with anything on Rouvy that's going to motivate me to ride hard, I'll then go to Zwift and be like, what stupid 10 after the hour race is coming up, and what's the course, and is there more than 2 people signed up for it, and oh yeah, what's my race score right now? Do I actually qualify for any of these dang events?
Well, and that's the thing is, Casey, have you ridden any course twice?
Only for races. There's a few times where I've learned this, I'll do the 3rd or 4th one on a challenge, and then 2 weeks later they'll have all the events on that course, and I'm like, oh, I need to do the challenge courses in order because they kind of have a sequence of events on some of these races, but I've only done them twice if I'm racing the course after I had already free rode it or something like that.
That's for me, like Rouvy, every ride is almost like a new ride. It's refreshing. It's a course I've never ridden before. I'm looking at the sites going, wow, this is beautiful.
And I'm not a climber, and something dawned on me today. I finished my Ironman route today that was a race. It was 34 miles race. It was a long race. We were pushing 90 minutes. And at the end of it, Rouvy pops up with like a personal record, and usually they're monthly. But this was an all-time longest ride, and I'm like, I've never rode more than 35 miles in a stretch on Rouvy, and I'm like, I've done 2.5 hour efforts on Rouvy, but there's 6,000 feet of elevation, right? Like they're an 18-mile course. It's not about mileage on Rouvy, but man, they will hit you where it hurts when it comes to the hills. And I know we keep saying this, it just, let me descend the hill. I earned it. Let me descend the hill.
Feature request. All right, before we get out of here, the last thing, because my whoosh, Brian had an update with my whoosh, so let's get the my whoosh in.
I got a couple things here. So, the first thing I want to say is the my whoosh category sort works. It was last week, and this week.
Hold on a second. You got to say that again. I totally.
Okay.
Swart. What? Sort. Sorry, my bad. Go ahead.
Sort. All right. So, like, say I'm in Cat 4. I can click all categories and right on the right under your about list, and it shows you I'm 50th out of 190 or whatever. Well, now you can click my category in a little drop down menu, and boom, I can see I'm whatever it is.
Oh, that's a big
30th
fix.
out of
That's cool.
50.
Great.
That's a big
That's
fix.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Phenomenal. Now you still see everyone on the course. It's still drafts and everything, but you in your leaderboard, you've got your category. It's phenomenal. Let's see. Another thing here is the times for my Whoosh championships were released this last week. Basically, it's 2 hours after your category starts from SRC. So for me, my Cat 4 starts at 5:40 a.m. So now my Whoosh championship starts at 7:40 a.m. So basically, if you're whatever category it is, it's 2 hours later.
Yeah, North America doesn't suck for that. Honestly.
Yeah. Like that's not bad. Like that's pretty decent. Obviously, it's a
5:45 in
stage
the morning?
race.
The West Coast is a little tough.
Yeah,
Like
five-
for
yeah,
me,
5:40
it'd be
5:45
six,
still.
it'd be
Okay.
6:30 a.m. I think for me, and
Yeah.
what my cat would be.
So it's a 7 races over 8 days. So you would have to like take vacation or arrange things to whatever it is to make it work. Luckily, it looks like I might be able to do it with the shifts I'll be on it, but we'll see about that. And then another thing today, I cannot confirm this because I don't have a route to complete outside of Snowfall Mountain, which is the Everest route. And I'm not going to ride 240 kilometers to find out if this did or did not work. So they've been talking about during, right now in my Whoosh, you can only get credit for a route badge if you free ride it. Well, today I was watching Nathan Guerra stream. He finished SRC. As soon as he crossed the finish line, boom, Jebel Feet or whatever the name of the course was, complete, route badge done. So I think this last update, they changed it to where you can complete a route in a workout or an event. Now I know I saw Nathan, this was an event and it completed it. And the SRC courses are vastly different than the regular in-game courses. Like if you select one of the Columbia climbs, it ain't anything, not even close to what the SRC course is. So I think that was an update this past week. I have all the routes completed except for one, so maybe I can fire up that and just test
an
it.
experience improvement update,
Yes,
right? If you're like, hey, I did a race with the route that I don't have, I can get credit for it instead of like you have to do you had to choose the route to get the route badge. You couldn't do it on a free ride.
You would avoid the
Exactly.
race just to get the badge.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've been doing a lot of workouts recently, and I have all the routes complete, so it don't matter. So I just pick climbing routes because if you climb, what I've found, like say if I climb or I ride 20 kilometers and I have over 400 meters, I get a lot more XP. So I've been picking climbing routes to do my workouts. Now, if I was trying to complete the route badge while workouts previously, it wouldn't count either. It had to be free ride. So I think that's changed because I saw Nathan get the credit for the feet or whatever climb it was.
Close enough. Close enough.
Yeah. So that's a good improvement. And let's see. This is something that kind of surprised me. Obviously, total different spectrum, but just very interesting. Someone posted it. I mean, I saw it before this, but someone posted it, and it got me thinking, it's kind of funny that the Tour de France rider from place 30th to 160, that people on Sunday Race Club can actually make more on Sunday than finishing.
Oh.
If you finish 31st in the Tour overall, you get €1,000, which is like $1,200 US. Well, I've won that in a weekend of racing when I won Cat 4 and the team final. So that's kind of wild. I know that team contracts and like it's different, but just on paper, if you're
just prize money, you mean? Not rider salary, but prize money.
Right. Not just rider salary. It's just a prize money. Yes. Purely. Now, granted, Tadej Pogacar won €500,000, and I think second place was 200,000. Let me look real quick here. 200,000, and then 100,000 for third, and it gets down there. I mean, like even at 10th place, you're at €3,800, or like €3,800.
When do you get the 30th place tour rider that in the off season is making bank on my Whoosh, right? Like,
yeah, that's kind of what I'm wondering. Like,
at some point, that's going to happen, and it's going to wreck everything going on.
Oh yeah,
with what's happening in SRC as like a community sort of race series, because you guys will realize that, hey, I can make some money doing this. And once the money starts happening, you're going to get the pro guys rolling in, like you said, Casey said, on a November, December, while they're gearing up for the season, just destroying SRC.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting to see, because Jason Osborne passed me today. I think I was moving at 17 kilometers an hour, roughly, right in that range. He passed me like I was absolutely standing still, like drop out, not even moving. Like the speed that those guys in Cat 1 passed me today, unbelievable. What they can do. It's actually kind of neat to watch, because I'm getting my butt kicked in Cat 4, which I'm also trying, to train. It's good motivation. But seeing what the actual pros are doing.
7.2 watts per kilo for 26 minutes.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
I'm excited to see what this event turns out to be, because would you say it's 7 or 8 days?
It's 7 days.
Longer courses, right?
The MyWish Championship.
Let me read the courses real quick. Japan, it's 56 kilometers, 460 meters of climbing. That's not bad. Arabia, 65, 419. Not bad.
I like that they're all long courses. Like they're not doing 55, these like 25, 35-minute races.
Yeah. 55, 392. And then stage 4. This is where you start getting some, you're in Zurich for 3 laps, 80 kilometers, 1,400 meters. That course is... Then the next day, you got 66 kilometers in Japan and 1,700 meters of climbing. The only thing I can think is we're climbing the long climb on the east side of the map, and then you're going to go climb Mount Fuji. That's going to be miserable. You have a rest day, then you have an individual time trial, 34 miles, 600 meters in Australia. And then Colombia, you have 80 kilometers.
So you did kilometers, then you did miles.
Oh, I'm sorry.
How many for the time trial? 40. It's like 46.
33 kilometers. 33.
33 kilometers. Okay.
Yeah, sorry, I said the wrong thing. And then 600 meters.
That's almost a recovery day for those guys.
Yeah.
Well, and what I'm getting at there is why I'm excited to watch it is I've been watching, and I forget what the acronym is for it now. What used to be the chasing tour, is it ECRO or something like that?
Yeah.
These guys are a week or two into that now, and they are miserable race after race after race. I watched them finish up the Ventoux earlier this week, averaging 4.8 up the entire climb, for an hour. And I'm like, and these guys, no disrespect to them, these guys are elite level guys, but they're not quite Cat 1 SRC.
Yeah.
They're Nathan Guerra, Cat 3, Cat 2 level kind of guys doing this. And there's no money on the line, right? We're talking money on the line. How deep are these guys going to dig over 8 days? And who's going to explode? Who can endure doing this 7 or 8 days in a row? That's something we haven't done indoors at that level.
It's a total of $1 million they're giving out to you.
It's crazy.
Let's just say I'm in Cat 4, so we'll look at Cat 4, and then we'll look at Cat 1 real quick. So if you're GC overall, that's $3,400 for this. And then second place is $2,800, then $2,500 for third. 10th place, and it gets less, obviously. And then you get down to 10th place, that's $340. It's still not bad. Then you have the team aspect of it. The team, I think there's 5 people on a team. I think it's 5. I might be wrong with that. 5 or 6. I don't remember. But so then you split, if you win first, you split $5,700. That's pretty good. And then 7th place. So if you sneak into 7th place, you're splitting $2,600. So that could be, $500 or so just for finishing it. Like even if you're last in the team, it's 7th place, you're still getting some. Overall sprint is in Cat 4, it's $1,000 if you're the overall sprint winner. And King of the Mountain overall is $1,000.
Yeah, you're
There's
talking
a
Cat
master.
4. These are like some serious cash for Cat 4.
Yeah. And then if there's a master's division 45 and up, you get $1,000. If you're 19 and under, or 23 and under, I forget the age, whatever they consider youth, That's $1,000. And then there's everyday individuals. Like the top three, first is 750, 450 for second, 300 for third. And the sprint winner is $150, and then King of the Mountains 150. So that's every day. There's some serious money they're throwing at this. And that's just Cat 4.
I think that's great.
Yeah.
And I'll be curious to see how the average Cat 4 rider takes care of himself. I'll wake up and drink my coffee and watch this. 6:30 a.m. I'm all in. I considered it actually today. I was asking my stream, like, what do I have to do to qualify? Because I've got the gear to do it, but then it's like you also not just power passport test, but I actually have to race 2 SRC races to qualify. I'm like, I can't do the middle of the night stuff.
It's 4 a.m. for you, right?
Yeah, it would be 4 or 4:30 a.m.
Yeah,
and we've got a standing.
I have to stay up. So.
Yeah, and I've got a standing Sunday morning commitment that I won't budge on. But yeah, it'd be cool to try, but it just doesn't work for me. But I'm gonna enjoy watching it. I think on that one because it's something different.
All right, thanks for the update on my whoosh. Are we good?
All right, I am looking at this. You do not, if I'm reading this, you do not have to do SRC. Okay. If you've done SRC, you do not have to do power passport test.
Okay.
So like anyone, if they want to do a power passport test, now the deadline to register is August 3rd. So like you got to do it in the next couple of days. Do a power passport test, go to the whole thing, the weigh in, the equipment, the height, do the power passport test, submit it, and then you'll be put in your category. I'm reading through here real quick. Now I don't see anything saying you have to. Now, if for me, I don't have to do it. I already registered. I'm good to go.
All right. Well, we'll read about it off air. I think we're done here.
Unless you want
to read it out loud to everybody. I don't think the audience is still involved in let's read the.
But it says you're strongly recommended to do at least one SRC, but it's not required.
The issue I would have, you have to do a hardcore power passport test if you don't have any SRC, or they're gonna annul you real quick, right? If you do a 95% power passport test, my max heart rate's 195 and I only hit 170 in my power passport, they won't know that until I go race, and then they're gonna be like, yeah, no, this isn't good. But it's interesting. Check it out.
Yeah.
All right. On that note, let's say goodbye. Yeah. Anything else? You want to throw something in there? You want to read some?
I hear the music. I hear the music.
The music's playing, and I got to go to work in 15 minutes. So.
All right, well, then you should be wrapping it up, not reading for people. Thanks,
I was reading
everybody.
It for Casey.
All right, we're gonna go find a boat to go jump on and get out of here.
All right.
That is a wave to say goodbye. I hear the music, even the music. Thanks, everybody. Take care.